everyone, this is Emily from Grammy's Garden. I'm getting ready to make an easy peanut brittle recipe, and I've already done some preparatory work. I've got a large cookie sheet here. It should be about a 15 by 10 and for this particular recipe, and I have buttered it. You can put another, you can spray it with a spray, but I've buttered it because this is kind of a buttery recipe, and I like the taste. So let's get going on this, okay? Okay, in this pan, and again, I make my candies in a heavy bottomed pan. In this pan, I've already put in 1 cup of sugar, and I've put in a pinch of salt. And when I say a pinch, I would say more like 1/4 teaspoon of salt, because I'm using peanuts that are raw. They're not salted peanuts. So I'm going to turn this to a medium heat, and I'm going to add, these are the next ingredients that go in this. I'm going to add 1 cup of white Karo syrup. This is the burner I can foods on in my pressure cooker, and I noticed this summer it's kind of hard to regulate. So I'm going to watch this candy closely. Now, if you use a meat thermometer, or excuse me, if you use a candy thermometer, be sure and get your candy thermometer out, because I'll tell you the temperatures. But I don't. I do things by eyesight and the way it kind of feels. Doesn't mean it's always perfect, you know, so I'm just wanting you to know that's how I do it. So the first ingredients are the sugar, the Karo syrup, and then a 1/4 cup of water. Just tap water is what I have there. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Slowly bring it to a boil, combining it. And getting this combined. Okay, so I have the butter here that's going in, and that's 2 tablespoons of butter. And it does say you can use margarine if you want to. So that's up to you, totally up to you. So I'm going to let all of this come to a slow boil, and then we're going to amp it up. So I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've got this boiling now. You see that's a full rolling boil. And I have my candy thermometer out just for the sake of the fact I just kind of want to see how my intuition is about it. And this shows that it's about 200 degrees. So it says when it's 200 degrees, it says when it reaches 200 degrees that you want to go ahead and drop a little bit in some cold water and see the response. Because there's a soft ball, it turns into just like a soft ball, and some of it will, if it gets hotter and hotter, it'll thread. It'll kind of do a threading, and we want to take this even past the threading part and get it to where it actually cracks. It's a crack part. So let me just show you this first bit. And I'm telling you, the worst burn I ever received cooking was cooking peanut brittle. So you got to be careful with this stuff, because it is, I mentioned molten lava the other day in my one recipe. This stuff's like molten lava. It really is. So that's at a hard stage, a hard ball stage, but it's not ready yet. So what I pay attention to when I make it, without filming it, you know, I'm just making it on my own, is and I only do this at Christmas time. When I make this, I watch for color changes. And I usually don't see color changes until we get into the peanuts down in it. And I'm not ready to put the peanuts in it yet. That's just something that I'm feeling. Now, my recipe says stir in the nuts at this point. And it's about ready to do that. I think it's, my candy thermometer might need calibrating, and since I don't use one anyway, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go by my gut. So the next thing we're going to do is pour in our peanuts. Here I've got 1.5 cups of raw Spanish peanuts, and you can see, so there's no salt on them. They've never been baked or toasted. There they go. Okay, I'll stir those in good. Now, pretty quickly, I'll watch the color of this, and I'm going to show y'all. Once these peanuts are in, you'll kind of hear them pop every now and then because they're splitting apart. Some of these are whole, and they'll split apart. I hope y'all have been enjoying my recipes that I make, and as I said, this is a once-a-year thing for me. I don't bake a bunch of candies. I'm usually just a pie or cake baker, and that's not every week, believe me. So anyway, this is starting to get really boiling. I'm going to show it to you again. Do y'all feel like you're getting a bird's eye view? It's not ready yet. That's still, see that boiling? That's still a clearish white color. I want that to start looking a little bit tan, just a little tan. Because if you don't get this like really brittle, yeah, the baking soda that you add helps it foam up and it turns into more of a brittle. But if you don't get this hot enough, when you pour it out, you're going to have some teeth breaking stuff that will not get brittle. It'll just be hard, very hard, and it might stick to your teeth. So I'm really cautious, and I watch it till I see it gets a light tan, just kind of a light caramel color. Then that's when I know, all right, this is going to be ready. Now I am going to do what my recipe that I have here. I write my recipes down in a pad that I also sketch in. What I'm going to do here is, when I think it's about time to take this off and add the soda, the baking soda, and with that, I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla too. With that, this stuff is going to be just about ready. But like I said, we gotta make sure that these peanuts are cooked, because they're cooking. And this is just boiling stuff. You see that? Let me show you. It's just boiling. I guess comparing it to molten lava may not be the best idea, but it's just, I don't know anything else. The time I got burned with it, I got burned right here on my wrist, and oh, that hurt, because that candy, that sugar, when it's that hot, it sticks right to your skin, and you can't really get it off. I mean, I have to soak these pans in hot water, really hot water, to get this to come away from it once I've emptied them onto the sheet pan. Okay, it's not turning color yet, but I can smell the peanuts. I know that's not a very scientific way to tell you guys. I'm so sorry for that. It's just, I'm a home cook, and I'm self-taught. My mom was the most wonderful cook, and she was just a home cook, nothing fancy. But boy, she served good meals, and everyone loved her recipes that she had for candies and cakes. She just made the best stuff. But she was a home cook, and she did it herself. She never really asked us to come help her cook, and back in the 60s, when I was a teenager, my early teen years, and then later teen years, at the end of the 60s, I just, she might ask us to do some little thing like that, like cooking, but she never asked us to really, come in here, I'm going to show you how to do this. So we kind of learned by osmosis with Mom, because we watched her, and my sister's a wonderful cook. We're just the two of us, and she's a great cook. She's really good at a recipe for lep cookies. I mean, her lep cookies are so amazing that people, and it's a family secret, and it's not on my side of the family. It came down from my husband's side of the family, and she's keeping her promise. She'll pass that on. Okay, let's just see what happens here when I drop a little bit I'm dropping a little bit into this cold water, and it is doing the threading part. Now this is starting to get a little bit of that caramel look, and we don't want it to burn. So when I'm ready to put the soda in, I'll be back with you all. Because right now, this is looking good. I'm going to show you again. I will get a better camera system. I vow to that. You see that color? Especially on camera, I can see that really looks tan. So, when I get my new camera, y'all know about it. I'll put it on my community page on YouTube. Okay, it smells good. I'm going to bring it over here. And I'm going to bring y'all along. I'm going to get to see all of my undone stuff today. I was out at Walmart bright and early looking for a Secret Santa gift for my Secret Santa tomorrow at work. So there went in 1 teaspoon of soda. I'm going to show you all how this stuff... Look at this. Do you see that gorgeous foaming that it does? Okay, when I spread it out, I'll show you that part, and I'm going to put in a teaspoon of it. Okay, here it is. It's on the buttered pan, and I'm just spreading it out. Now, if you like a lighter peanut brittle, you know, that's a little bit lighter in color, then you don't cook it quite as long as I did. But I really like for mine to be a nice medium caramel color. And this is going to cool pretty fast. Like you see, I'm having to really push it around this pan. Now, when it does cool, I will just pick the thing up over some parchment paper or some Reynolds wrap or some foil, and I will just give it a crack. I'll just crack it. Okay, I have had this sitting on the counter for just about 10 or 15 minutes, and it's ready to crack. I moved it a couple times so it would have a cool spot because cooling on the bottom helped it. But I'm going to show you now. This is what you do with it. You just, see how that, I just picked that up and it just, so I appreciate you being here. Please like and subscribe. And I'm going to be doing a cranberry relish. It's actually a salsa that you pour over cream cheese and dip with whatever kind of crackers you or your family or your friends prefer. So I'm going to have that one up for you too in a day or so.